I'm Athon from Black Tusk, and you're watching the Asian Metal.
Hey, this is Elson from the Asian Metal, and I have here Nathan of
Athon
of Black Tusk. So how's it going, man?
It's going. Another day in paradise.
So how's been the tour so far?
This is probably like our 7th day or so, but it's been excellent, man. We've been hanging out with some really good buddies. Watch out, coming in hot.
Oh, cool.
So we've been with some good buddies. We started the tour with Hull and East of the Wall and Royal Thunder and us as a package. We broed down pretty hard. There's like 21 of us all caravanning around, and then we just hit South by Southwest, did 3 shows in a day. Got a day off to drive through the night to come here, so life is good.
All right. So how's been the crowd's reaction to you guys so far?
So far, it's been excellent. Some of the shows were smaller on the way here. It was places we haven't played yet. But the people who were there were super stoked and into it. Like, they gave off the energy that we were putting off as well. Our show is always super high energy, and we kind of expect the same from the crowd. And they delivered every single night, so it was cool. It made our night for sure.
All right. You guys have any plans for after this tour?
Actually, it's kind of funny. We have like 24 more days. We end in Kansas City, Missouri. We have to be off the stage and packed up by 11 o'clock at night. We drive through the night to Nashville, Tennessee, park our van at Andrew's uncle's house, get a ride to the airport, and fly directly to Milan, Italy to get picked up and go sound check at our first show to start a month-long tour with Red Fang all across Europe.
Nice.
So, yeah, we've got about 50 more days on this tour, so yeah, we're just starting this thing, getting the ball rolling.
Yeah. All right. So, your album "Set the Dial" was released on Relapse Records last year in October. What was the recording process like?
That one, it kind of we sort of, I wouldn't say it was a lot different as recording, but the pre-production was kind of fun as well. We were touring last year, basically 9 months out of the year. And so when we were home for a week at a time, we'd go into the practice space and we set up. We wouldn't play our set or any old material because we didn't want to burn it out. So what we did is we just got in there and started jamming. We'd just tune the guitar and somebody just mess around while somebody else was tuning and be like, oh wait, hold up, stop, play that riff again. And everyone would kind of think on their own while they're at their house or at their jobs, and we'd come into practice with a riff or a drum beat or kind of a vocal pattern and just start building. And we'd hit the 4-track tape recorder and we just had a list of riffs, and they'd go into each other, and we had notes written down on a pad. And so when we started writing it, we just started off, we were like, this is the opening riff for the album, it has to be, and this is the end riff for the album. And we just kind of went from there and let it flow, and took our time doing it. And it probably only took us about a month and a half to write the whole album. And we flew out to Seattle to work with Jack Endino, who was one of my favorite producers ever. He recorded when he was in charge of the whole Seattle sound. He recorded Nirvana before anyone knew who they were. Soundgarden, he made those dudes famous.
Right.
He is a world-renowned dude, and to get to work with him, it was amazing. We showed up on a flight having no idea how it was going to go, and we instantly were best buddies with him, and he understood our language. You're hearing things in your head and it's hard to get it out in words. He completely understood and just nailed it. It was such a good time. There was no problems, no hiccups, just smooth sailing. It was everything we could ask for.
All right. So being in a major label like Relapse that has a wide selection of metal bands from cross genres, what is it like to be in that kind of label?
It's pretty cool. It's because if you get put on a package with another Relapse band, most likely they're not going to be exactly like you, which is kind of cool. You hit two, if you're with another band, it's your band, another one, you hit 2 different markets. Say you're playing with Revocation or something, because we played with them. They're more thrash, but those their crowd still can relate to our crowd. We bring a different group of different set of people, and we all get along together. So it's kind of the best of both worlds on that label. Like, those people, Relapse really cares. They're fan first and their label second, sort of. It's pretty weird how it works out. It's cool, and you always get to hit up different people, and if they don't know who you are, you get a chance to change their mind, and that's really cool in my book. Anytime you can change someone over, and they come to your show not knowing who you are, not knowing what to expect, and they pick up one of your albums afterwards, that's the best feeling in the world. You can't beat that.
Yeah, that's right. So you guys come from Savannah, Georgia, and that has other bands like Baroness and Kylesa. How is the scene like in Savannah compared to like other scenes around here?
Everyone has a weird vision of Savannah, and they think it's like this crazy music scene. It's actually one of the smallest cities in Georgia, and it's an old, sleepy southern town. And we were born and raised there. A lot of bands, Baroness, they lived there. They were all raised up in Virginia, but it's such a cohesive, like, kind of scene. Punk rock, metal, everything. It's so small that if you have a problem with someone, you better air it really quick and kind of squash it or leave town. It's so small and tight-knit that everyone looks out for each other, and it doesn't matter who you are. As long as you're cool, you're going to be welcomed with open arms. If you're not, you're going to be run out of town real quick. So it's kind of cool. It's not much to do, so why not play music? And that's, I think, a lot of the bands from there tour so heavily is because there's only a couple places to play in town, and there's only so many people to watch you play. You got to get to a different market to keep things fun and exciting. So hit the road running. That's how we did it.
All right. So I read online that you guys refer to yourselves as like swamp metal. Like, why is that?
Well, that kind of started as a joke almost. Because people were trying to categorize our music as something. They were trying to squeeze us into a niche term, and we didn't really fit any of those. We're not thrash, we're not doom, we're not stoner rock, we're not fucking, classic throwback 70s. We're just a little bit of everything kind of balled into one. And so we just jokingly made up the term because we had a Harley Davidson sticker on the back of one of our old tour vans, and it said Harley Davidson, and then it said like motorcycles. And we were sitting there one day looking at it, and I was like, it'd be really cool is if it said Black Tusk, swamp metal. And like we just kind of rolled with it, and it, not thinking it would take on a beast like it is. And now people are like, oh, the swamp metals, it's like, holy shit, I really just thought I was, trying to say fuck you to people who are trying to categorize us, and kind of backfired in a way, because now we threw ourselves into a niche term. But at the same time, it's kind of cool because, how many times can you just spout something out not even knowing, and it turns into its whole little monster. It's kind of cool.
Right. So what inspires you guys to make the music you do? Like, are there any bands that really are influenced to you guys? We're not really any dudes that sit down and go, man, I'd like to write a song that sounds like this. We're completely opposite. When we're in our tour van, I'd say the least amount of music that gets played in there is metal. We come from southern rock. We listen to rap, country a lot. Like, we have so many diverse musical friends and just personal friends that there's no need to just stick to one thing. I really don't. I get bored so quickly, and I think that influences our music. We kind of take little sections of our musical lives and our musical tastes, which range from anything you can think of, and we just kind of work on all that and take our personal experiences and set our feelings from those into the music, and just kind of let it all play itself out as one big story. All right. Well, I'm done with my questioning, so thank you. Hey, thank you. No problem. Yeah.